Today is Sunday, August 16th. Welcome to Big Book Daily. My name is Rob. I am an alcoholic. It is a thrill, honor, and joy to be here with you today as we journey through the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous and the 12 Steps and 12 Traditions. Today out of the Big Book, we are on More About Alcoholism. We'll be reading page 35. Out of the 12 and 12, we'll read Step 5, the first part of page 58. And of course, we'll read NA's Just for Today and Al-Anon's Courage to Change. So with that, hope y'all are doing well this beautiful Sunday morning, my friends. Life is good over here. Got a giant cup of coffee in hand, once again in my Marvel cup. And just what a blessing it is to wake up sober today. Somebody reached out not too long ago, I think it was 3 or 4 days ago, earlier in this week, and they're about to celebrate 3 years of sobriety. So I just want to say congratulations. That's incredible. Thank you so much for reminding me that, gosh, this program, this fellowship, it is a miracle. Just what a blessing to not have to wake up with hangovers and panic and frustration and fear after a night of drinking or a blackout. What a blessing it is just to be alive and sober. So with that, let's go ahead and get to the good stuff. All right, my friends. So if you recall from yesterday's reading, we talked about how this mental state is the crux of the problem. So there's that mental obsession again that we talk about. It's a twofold illness, mental obsession and the physical allergy. So we're going to build on this idea on page 35 of More About Alcoholism. What sort of thinking dominates an alcoholic who repeats time after time the desperate experiment of the first drink? Friends who have reasoned with him after a spree which has brought him to the point of divorce or bankruptcy are mystified when he walks directly into a saloon. Why does he? Of what is he thinking? Our first example is a friend we shall call Jim. This man has a charming wife and family. He inherited a lucrative automobile agency. He had a commendable World War record. He's a good salesman. Everybody likes him. He's an intelligent man, normal so far as we can see, except for a nervous disposition. He did no drinking until he was 35. In a few years, he became so violent when intoxicated that he had to be committed. On leaving the asylum, he came into contact with us. We told him what we knew of alcoholism and the answer that we had found. He made a beginning. His family was reassembled and he began to work as a salesman for the business he had lost through drinking. All went well for a time, but he failed to enlarge his spiritual life. To his consternation, he found himself drunk 6 times in rapid succession. On each of these occasions, we worked with him, reviewing carefully what had happened. He agreed that he was a real alcoholic and in serious condition. He knew that he faced another trip to the asylum if he kept on. Moreover, he would lose his family, for whom he had a deep affection. Out of the 12 and 12, we're on Step 5. Admit it to God, to ourselves, and to another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. And yesterday we talked about how by doing this step to the best of our ability, we were finally able to forgive others and forgive ourselves too. So we're going to read the next paragraph on page 58. Another great dividend we may expect from confiding our defects to another human being is humility, a word often misunderstood. To those who have made progress in AA, it amounts to a clear recognition of what and who we really are, followed by a sincere attempt to become what we could be. Therefore, our first practical move toward humility must consist of recognizing our deficiencies. No defect can be corrected unless we clearly see what it is. But we shall have to do more than see. The objective look at ourselves we achieved in Step 4 was, after all, only a look. All of us saw, for example, that we had lacked honesty and tolerance. that we were beset at times by attacks of self-pity or delusions of personal grandeur. But while this was a humiliating experience, it didn't necessarily mean that we had yet acquired much actual humility. Though now recognized, our defects were still there. Something had to be done about them. And we soon found that we could not wish or will them away by ourselves. And ages for today, August 16th. Up or down? This is our road to spiritual growth. We change every day. This growth is not the result of wishing, but of action and prayer. Basic text, page 37. Our spiritual condition is never static. If it's not growing, it's decaying. If we stand still, our spiritual progress will lose its upward momentum. Gradually, our growth will slow, then halt, then reverse itself. Our tolerance will wear thin. Our willingness to serve others will wane. Our minds will narrow and close. Before long, we'll be right back where we started, in conflict with everyone and everything around us, unable to bear even ourselves. Our only option is to actively participate in our program of spiritual growth. We pray, seeking knowledge greater than our own from a power greater than ourselves. We open our minds and keep them open, becoming teachable and taking advantage of what others have to share with us. We demonstrate our willingness to try new ideas and new ways of doing things, experiencing life in a whole new way. Our spiritual progress picks up speed and momentum, driven by the higher power we are coming to understand better each day. Up or down, it's one or the other, with very little between, where spiritual growth is concerned. Recovery is not fueled by wishing and dreaming, we've discovered, but by prayer and action. Just for today, the only constant in my spiritual condition is change. I cannot rely on yesterday's program. Today, I seek new spiritual growth through prayer and action. Al-Anon's Courage to Change, August 16th. During stressful periods, it can be tempting to skip a meal, push ourselves until we are totally exhausted, and generally ignore our basic needs. In the midst of crisis, taking time out for an Al-Anon meeting, a call to a sponsor, or a breath of fresh air may seem like a waste of all too precious moments. There don't seem to be enough hours in the day, and something has to go. But are we choosing wisely? At the very time we most need to take good care of ourselves, we are likely to do the opposite. If we decide that our needs are unimportant, or that we're too busy, we sabotage our own best interests. In times of crisis, we need to be at our best. By making an extra effort to get nutritious food, sleep, Al-Anon support, relaxation, and quiet time with our higher power, we strengthen ourselves physically, emotionally, and spiritually. This can make a difficult situation a little easier. Today's reminder: I am the only one who can make my well-being my top priority. I owe it to myself to pay attention to the needs of my body, mind, and spirit. Putting first things first in troubled times often means finding whatever way that I can to set aside my burdens, even if just for a moment, to make time for myself. Quote from In All Our Affairs. All right, my friends, that concludes today's reading, and my goodness, some good stuff today, and it hit hard. First of all, I love the reading in the 12 and 12 about humility, right, in step 5. Another great dividend we may experience from confiding our defects to another human being. So another great benefit is humility, a word often misunderstood. To those who have made progress in AA, here it is. It amounts to a clear recognition of what and who we really are. That's so true right there. Of what and who we really are right now. Like things that we might be struggling with, followed by a sincere attempt to become what we could be. So the first part is recognizing our deficiencies in the first place. And once we recognize that, we can pray about that. Maybe make those amends that we might need to make because of our deficiencies on display. Let those deficiencies go. I can give those deficiencies over to my higher power daily. And over time, I can become the man that maybe I was really supposed to be. To be a different person that I once was. To be of service for others. To be somebody that my children could be proud of. I love that I can grow into the person that I believe my higher power wanted me to be, designed me to be. You know, it's very comforting to know that this is a growing process. And because it's a growing process, it's going to take time. I think that was in one of our NA readings earlier, is about time. This says some of these things don't happen overnight, but by continuous action, it can happen. And that kind of ties into the NA reading as well for today, talking about how we never really stay still. We're either moving forward or moving backward. And I'll be honest with you all, I have, the last couple of weeks, I think I've been sliding backward a little bit. I haven't been going to meetings as regularly and I think I shared this earlier, as I used to, because I've been, quote unquote, busy, right, with my new job and everything. And I can't let that interfere with my spiritual growth. I just can't, because guess what's starting to happen? I'm starting to have more intrusive thoughts. I'm starting to get in my head a little bit, wondering if I fit in. These are all the things that I used to think about on a daily basis when I was still drinking. And then eventually what would happen is it would lead me to a drink. Then I would do all kinds of things that I wasn't proud of, which would again make me feel shameful, and I didn't want to feel that, so guess what? I drank some more. So my action step this week is to get back to my routine of going to meetings, to get back to quiet time at lunch and getting outside and just looking at my higher power's creation, praying more and being of service. So I got some homework, and this reading was a beautiful reminder that the work is so worth it. So worth it. But anyways, my friends, that's all we have time for today. I hope you all have a great one. Please know, as always, I don't speak on behalf of AA, NA, Al-Anon, any other sector, denomination. I'm just a joyful drunk in this lifeboat of recovery. Honored to be here another day. Real quick, I do want to say I did get an email not too long ago from a dear friend. And I just want to say that I admire him so much for his honesty and his willingness to get right back to work. But he had had a relapse recently. And he completely owned up to it and said, I'm ready to get back after it. He's meeting with his sponsor. And thankfully, I don't think he's doing this, but he's not beating himself over the head with shame and everything else. He's just getting right back after it. And this is just Robology. This is just my opinion. And I'm just going to throw it out there. I don't think that undoes everything that we've worked hard for before. A lot of those days beforehand were still sober days. But let's be honest, every alcoholic's natural desire is to want to drink, you know? So I really appreciate his reminder that, hey, this disease is serious. But I also appreciate his courage to come on back and his discipline to come on back. And if you might be in whoever might be listening might be in a relapse right now, and somehow you're hearing this, come on back. We love you, and you're not alone. Don't isolate yourself, and please know that you have great worth and value, and sobriety is so much better than the madness of our alcoholism, right? But anyways, my friends, I'll hop off here. I hope you have a great one, and if we're given another set of 24 hours, I sincerely look forward to seeing you right back here tomorrow.